Hi everyone, and welcome to our last episode from Beyond Tech. My name is Patricia, I'm a digital analyst and I'm your host for the second season of Beyond Tech. On today's episodes, we are going to dive into the topic of customer insights and how this role can help business driving business success by understanding their customer behavior. Using several techniques, from surveys to focus groups, until working side by side with analysts and UX designers, they can gather actionable insights capable of transforming how companies connect with their clients. And to join us today, we have Rafael, a UX researcher and customer insights specialist, to share with us some key learnings and latest trends about this field. And first, let me thank you, Rafael, for accepting this challenge and for sharing with us your expertise on this topic.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I would like to start by asking a simple question, because I imagine some of the people that are hearing us today don't quite understand what is customer insights. So I would like you to explain a bit what you do and what it entails, your role at the end of the day.
Okay. So basically, customer insights is the advocate for the customer's voice and the customer's intention. And especially in this company, we are very much focused on trying to understand why is happening what is happening. So bringing the customer to our decision, to our data interpretation, and try just to bring him closer to decision making.
So, for example, distinguish it from the general digital analytics role. Maybe we can say you are more in charge of the qualitative studies comparing with the quantitative, or do you as well do both of them in this case?
We do both, but it's a different quantitative approach. So basically, digital analyst colleague will be responsible for all the live environment, like what is behind, what is happening in the website, what is happening in each trigger or whatsoever. So kind of the digital analyst has a overview of the behavior in the website. But sometimes what's lacking there, it's understanding why this is happening. And we don't have the tools to understand what is happening. That's why we need these colleagues. But then we need to interpret why. And then it's more qualitative. Sometimes we also have quantitative, like, for example, if you want to understand the priorities of customers in general and you want to do a survey and so on, then you reach a bigger audience, it's more quantitative. But it's a different approach.
So maybe we can explore that. So which type of methods do you apply then in your daily work life, now that we are talking a bit more about this practical stuff?
Yeah, it always depends on the question that you have, like what are our doubts for the problem or for the customer whatsoever. We can have interviews, like one-on-one interviews with the potential customers, for example. We can do some surveys. We'd have other methods like treat testing and card sorting, where we try to have a perspective of the user. How is the path of the user, like in his own mental model? If the user wants to reach something, how the user is going there, how the user is categorizing different topics, for example. Or we also can do like usability testing. You have a prototype and you want to understand how is this functioning, is this comprehensible for the user.
Okay, thank you very much for the detailed explanation. And now for our next question. You still don't know it, but the ones that are listening to us already know it. Actually, this is the last time we are going to do it. It's a new type of question, more an icebreaker that we decided to include on this season, to get to know a bit more about you, about your role, but in a more funny way. And I call this section the Think Fast, Answer Faster. And as the naming says, because I'm not that creative, as you can see, it's really think fast and answer faster to some of my questions. I hope you are ready for it. And my first question should be an easy one. What's the funniest or strangest question you heard about your job as customer insights?
Does it have to be a question?
A question or like a saying, yeah.
We say, okay, here is customer insights, we have data, and then people say, yeah, but where are the people, like the actual data people? And then you're like, okay.
Oh, it's that moment like...
crying a river.
We kind of look at data, so please treat us as some. I feel your pain. So, next question. If you could read minds to understand the customer behavior, what's the first thing you would like to try to understand?
What is like the true intention from the user, like inside? Because sometimes what the user tells you is not really what they are trying to do,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit complicated. And if you could just go inside.
I get your point, like when looking at the data, like, why are you clicking here? There is one blue CTA, so cute for you to click, and then it's like, no, they go do a lot of clicks to that.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have users that say like, oh, this is so nice, I totally understand, and then you completely see that they are not understanding, and you're like, I need to understand more how you're thinking.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Next question. If customer feedback could be translated into emojis, which emoji would represent the best your typical customer service survey responses?
I don't know, someone with like question marks on their eyes and like upside down and crying.
The upside down face.
Yeah, like quite a mix. Maybe we should get a new emoji. Yeah.
Oh, good. We can suggest.
Yeah.
Now, next question, and this is the last one more related with what you do. If you could conduct a survey about any topic, completely for fun, what would it be about?
Completely for fun.
It can be like about your daily life.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Why people are so bad in parking.
Oh, okay. Why people are so bad in driving, that's for sure. But I will have a bias while trying to understand that.
Okay,
so.
okay. I can get that point. And actually, we are going to talk about bias soon, so stay tuned. And now my last question, and this is a question that I've been doing in every single episode, because I have a theory, Rafael. I have a theory that when they asked me to do this podcast, I was like, I want to understand this. This is my type of market study. And I have a theory that every single person working with data has their favorite graphic. And I want to know which one is yours. It's an hard one, I know.
That's a hard one, yeah. Here in MB.io related job, it's difficult to bring a graph to that. Probably would be more just like heat map stuff, because that's more related with me. Yeah. But I'm a guy of scatter plots, like trying to interpret from the data points that we have there instead of having already the trend line.
I like it. So far we are having a different one for every single episode, so I like this. At the end of the day, my theory is then proved. Everyone has a favorite graphic, but at the end, so each role has a different one. So I like to see that we have some variety here. And with this, we finalize this round. And thank you so much, Rafael.
Okay.
You actually answered pretty okay. I hope it wasn't as scary.
No.
It was funny. So as I promised, right?
Yes, sure.
All good. So going back to the normal questions, now you can breathe. So my next question to you is, talking about the customer insights, so the output that you can take. How can this output support other roles and more specifically business decisions? So how can you help business understanding I need to do this? It's very important.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is like when we always have business topics and that they need to go further no matter what. But when we are trying to understand how our customer satisfaction will impact our company and in the end case scenario our sales, we need to understand the customer. So we need to understand, are they happy with this or not, or are these fulfilling their needs or not? And I think that's the trigger point. Yeah,
the part that it really can help us, because as you said priorly, data insights, so data analytics, we can try helping with some things, but at the end of the day, it was what you were saying, sometimes the user is doing one click that we can't understand why you went on that direction, and you can support at the end of the day that part. All good, thank you so much. For our next question, we are going to structure it in a slightly different way. As we did in our first season, we invited some colleagues to support our discussion here. And for this episode, we invited one of our UX colleagues, Camila Fraga, to actually share with us her point of view on a topic that I would like you to hear, and then we can comment a bit on what she said. Actually, we invited Camila to answer to us on her opinion, what are some common challenges that you can face when gathering and interpreting some customer insights? So let's hear Camila now.
I believe there's always a challenge to have an holistic view of the customer journey, but I see the effort is bigger when you have data silos in the company. So to gather data on those circumstances is always a bigger challenge. Also, when it comes to interpreting data, the challenge, in my opinion, lies always in not get biased by your personal beliefs and ending up leading to wrong assumptions on top of the data that you have in hands.
Thank you so much, Camila, for your participation on this episode. And resuming a bit what she said, so Camila talked about that it's hard when we have data silos, so when we just having data coming from one place, not knowing the full environment, and as well the fact that sometimes our personal opinion can get a bit in the way, and we need to be very careful not to put it in our studies. So what do you think about this topic, being a person that actively does this every single day?
It's actually very interesting to hear this also from Camila with a UX perspective on, like, while doing the tests and so on, because I think that's one of the points. That's why we need specialized expertise on the area, and not just like everyone can do it, and we need to grow and trying to understand how to do the methods, because what Camila said, it's what us as a customer insights we have every day. Like every day we go to whatever test we are trying to do, and we go with the mentality, I have a bias here, and I need to put the bias on the side. Sometimes it's always so intrinsic there that you cannot do it, but you always approach it with, I have a bias that I need to handle. And the problem is when some external person looks to the data and is not aware of the bias. Like we have sometimes situations that someone says to me, yeah, but how can the user not understand that? And I mean, you are highly biased there.
Yeah.
You are only saying that because you are on this bubble of Mercedes-Benz and our work. We cannot blame the user, like why the user is not understanding. It's not their job to try to understand, it's our job to make it clear.
Yeah, because for them, and in some cases, it's the first time they are looking at
Exactly.
it while we look at all of the mock-ups before it goes live.
Exactly. So the bias is for sure a major one. And the other one that Camila said, it's one that we kind of fight every day. And I'm from commerce, so in commerce we are trying to put it further on and to try to mingle with our digital analyst colleagues and so on, because it's great that they are open to that, because the silos are just pain points for our performance overall and for our end goal. Like if we have a stakeholder asking, just give me the numbers of what is happening.
You need to connect everything, if not...
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, if the numbers are good, then they are happy and they go their way. But if the numbers are not good and they don't want to understand why it's happening...
We need to explain and give all of the...
So to make it something customer-centric, we need to put out together why, what, and etc.
All good. And regarding this topic, you as a specialist, you have anything to add? More, in this case, more technical, in a technical perspective.
Yeah, I think in the technical way, it's like sometimes you don't have the right method that you want to. Like, for example, we are trying to do a mock-up with some potential users. Would be great if we could have real customers or potential customers. That's a pain point. And I think this pain point, like it kind of escalates to other pain points around, because, for example, you don't have the right methods, you don't have the needed budget to do something, you need budget extra to invest on being customer centric. And if the stakeholders don't see the value on it, it's difficult. And also you have, like, for example, you want to do the right method, but nowadays, and good that that's happening, but nowadays we have to be very careful with data protection, which is also an obstacle for us to get to the client.
To the client.
So there's always these pain points that, of course, it impacts our work. But I would say the major one is that we need to go back to our roots and understand the value of it. If we understand the value of it, we are likely to have more budget, we are likely to invest on more methods and more approaches, and we need that to be real customer-centric, I would say.
All good. And now, my last question for you. Regarding this area, are there any new trends coming in? And in this case, how do you think it can affect the business from that point on?
You mean like new trends? Like customer behavior, methods?
Customer behavior. See, we can go on both perspectives, but in this case, more customer behavior centric.
Yeah, I think what we see a lot with the customer, it's like, especially with the younger generations, customers tends to be more digital. But we are also mixing a behavior which has many years of being constructed in your back mind, like buying a car is a big purchase. So while you have people more prone to go digital, and we see that in our tests, we see that people say, oh, I'll consider to buy a vehicle online, and that's good for us. We need to kind of deconstruct a little bit what is the purchase of a vehicle, because it's different than purchasing a Gucci bag. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to deconstruct this a little bit and give to the user the experience of something that they may be missing on a physical environment. I think that's probably the big shift that we need to do.
All good. Thank you so much, Rafael, for joining us today.
Thank you.
It was a very enlightening conversation for me. At least I learned something new today, and I hoped that you learned something new as well. And thank you so much for being here with us. It's our last episode. I hope you enjoyed this season, and see you maybe in a new season from Beyond Tech. Bye.